Previously on Da Vinci's Inquest.
He said what I said he did. He killed that broad.
You come here looking for who I talk to, who then goes out and kills in the same way? I didn't talk to anybody, nobody. Think about it.
Told him what you told the jury?
Well, I got no reason to change what I said at this point, do I?
Might be in your best interest not to talk to anybody but your lawyer from here on in.
Checking a full ident team down here. I'm locking this tier right down. It's locked. All right, look. I'm seizing everything for the coroner's office. This is going to Inquest. Anybody asks, I'm running this.
You gonna write on your ticket?
Yeah, that's good. That way we don't have to wait around for warrants and all that rigmarole. And if it starts tilting towards homicide, we can jump right on it.
There's a lot of weight on this one.
Okay, now I want all these inmates here strip searched. I want all the cells searched right down to the cement. I better get harnessed to it. We don't want these guys necessarily involved. Okay, we gotta cover all the bases on this one.
Where are the prisoners that were on this tier?
Segregation.
We'll want to take them one at a time.
We should segregate these two guards, too.
Yeah. I want to see the captain of the watch.
Straight down.
No, you. Come with me. Here's what I want. I want all the files on every prisoner on that tier. Do you hear me? I want to know how long they've been in pretrial. I want to know who the visitors are. I want everything. And I want everything on all the guards on ship. Okay? You're not going home until I get all of it.
I know the drill. I'm not looking to get pushed around an inquest.
That's good. Because you know what? I'm going to need a minute-by-minute account of what the hell you were doing here this morning while this man who was placed into your charge, alive, had every reason to expect to go on living, is now what? He's counted amongst the dead.
Hey, Morris. Hey, Tony. Hey.
Good, man.
Hey, you know, somebody told me you were working for Da Vinci. We didn't know whether to say congratulations or send our regrets.
Keep the flowers on standby, okay? I'll let you know. What's the story here?
Well, it's a riddle so far. I show up on the call because my sergeant's off her head about these home invasions. Thinks this might turn out that way. The thief kicked down the back door. Left the front door open when he left.
So, you got a name for this deceased?
Mrs. Georgina Martin.
This is how she was found?
Yeah, just like that.
Got a nasty crack to the back of the head.
Yeah, I saw that.
Looks like we got a couple of hairs visible on the corner of the dresser here.
You think the guy roughed her up a little? She cracked her skull going down?
Could play out like that. Got a torn button on the top of the nightgown here. Pretty straight ahead otherwise.
Yeah, pretty straight ahead except for this. The door was locked from the inside. I had to pop the lock to get in. Both windows are barred and locked from the inside. Somebody wanted to rough her up, they'd have to walk through walls to do it.
Yeah.
The cops busted me, that's all I know.
Yeah, for 2 ounces of coke. You're looking at doing some long time for that.
Well, my lawyer seems to think I can beat it.
Oh, yeah, they always tell you that.
You're accused of assaulting a police officer.
It was self-defense.
The charge was assault.
They called it assault because I was the only one left standing.
So what were you doing this morning?
I ate breakfast.
Do You happen to notice the prisoner in the last cell on that tier?
I didn't see anything.
I heard a noise, and I saw these two big bulls working on the hanged guy.
Working on him how?
They were cutting him down. He was dead. That's what they were saying.
You wouldn't say shit if you were standing in it.
I take care of my own business.
Come on, cut the shit. You can't spit on that tier without getting wet.
I took a nap.
What woke you up?
A guard putting me in segregation.
It was a break-and-enter call. So far, I can't tell if there's anything missing. I can see the victim through the bedroom window.
I got a blow to the back of the head. Caught the corner of the dresser going down.
Well, nothing's disturbed in the room. She's got the blow to the head. You want to speculate on the time of death?
I'd say sometime in the early morning.
What are you calling?
Could be a natural. Could be she got roughed up, came in here to hide, trips, falls, faints. It's a maybe.
Yeah, well, seeing the door locked up the way it is, I don't think it's going to be coming my way. You might want to call Ident, just in case you have to cover your ass. Let me know if anything develops.
All right.
I'm guessing Mark's kept a pretty neat cell. T-shirt folded, toothbrush in a cup. Most cons that have been in for a while tend to be neat. But take a look here. Pillow's half under the bed. You got a button on the floor there.
Well, that's from his shirt.
You got a shoe over there. And another one neatly tucked away under the bed.
Well, that could have happened when he was asleep. Somebody comes in, jumps him, there's a fight, shoe ends up over there.
If he's despondent, what the hell does he care where his shoe ends up?
What the hell's he got to be despondent about? The case is up for retrial.
Thinking this was suicide?
Well, you know, the ligature marks on the neck have a suspension point, which is consistent with suicide. Plus, most suicides work with the bars way up high, just like that.
Well, if it was somebody else, they'd have to be pretty strong to get him up that high.
Absolutely. What is the guy, 200 pounds?
Yeah, 2 guys could lift him. There's 3 here on the tier.
Yeah?
I've got that information you wanted.
Yeah, great.
I'm pretty well done in here. I'll start in another 3 cells next.
Okay. Well, while he's doing that,
Suicide my ass.
wait a minute. Who's this?
What?
What's this?
Oh, that's his lawyer, Sid Samuels.
No. Below that, I didn't see that. This is a cop number. This is a badge number. What the signature? Whose signature is that?
Oh, that's Reagan. He's a sergeant. He was in here yesterday. Excuse me.
You pretty much saved Kowalski for last.
Yeah, we want to let his bladder get real full before we go in there.
What'd you get from the watch captain?
Kowalski had a visit from Reagan yesterday.
Oh, Christ, more shit again.
Here's where we separate the ship from the Shinola, okay?
Wait a minute. If you guys think Regan is involved in any way, we gotta be going to internal right
Hey,
now.
wait a minute. Let's have a little parley right here. We give Regan to internal on nothing but suspicion he turns up kosher, then we're scumbags, right?
Kosher or not, you turn your brother on blue. You are a scumbag.
Right.
So, look, this is where me running this thing is working for you. All you have to do now is just go straight ahead on Kowalski.
Yeah, just not mention Regan. Let's limit it to this incident,
This is Kowalski's backyard. All you gotta do is find out what he wants. You got no leverage here. He doesn't care about doing time. You do is standing on his head.
Yeah, but we still gotta justify the investigation of Regan. Can't keep him in the dark about it.
Let's just keep it to procedure for now, okay?
I hate this two-faced shit. I'm pointing that out right now.
Okay. This'll make you happy. I'll deal with Regan, okay? I'll be straight up. You tell me when's a good time, go talk to him. That's when I'll go and talk to him. But for now, you got a buffer. No one's getting buried here except the deceased.
No, that's all right. We don't need to see you with your clothes off.
Yeah, sit down, Kowalski. We know you. We just got some loose ends that we need to tie up.
You helped out before, right? One time? Maybe you could help out here.
Maybe.
We're not gonna hang a rat jacket on you, though, all right?
Look, I wish I could help you, but I don't know what you're looking for.
Well, maybe you could start by just telling us what you did this morning.
Sure, I ate breakfast in my cell.
You see anything?
Nothing special, no. Those other 2 guys were pacing the tier, talking, smoking.
Talking about what?
I don't know, I didn't hear them.
Where'd you get the bruise on your neck?
I got into a beef in the yard the other day.
Well, yeah, what about?
Some guy was talking to me like I was a punk.
Yeah. You straightened him out, did you?
Just trying to survive.
See Vincent Marks on the tier this morning?
Not this morning, though.
Did you see him last night?
Yeah, I did. I saw him come in.
Did that worry you?
Why would it?
Well, 4 years ago, you know? You did the right thing. Helped the cops. Put him, a sex killer, behind bars.
That's right. I did that. Like you say, the right thing. But I don't know what you're getting at.
Well, if Mark starts telling the story around that you helped us out, that'll label you as a rat, wouldn't it?
You're right. That'd be no good for me.
Yeah, but I could understand why then you'd want to put a stop to him before that happened.
Look, let me explain to you how things work in here, okay?
Okay, we'd appreciate that.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
There's a lot of guys in general population who would love to hurt a guy like Marks who checks out of protective custody.
Mm-hmm.
You want a suspect. Take your pick.
We pick you.
See, what we think is that you went into his cell and strangled him with a sheet and then hung him up to dry like laundry.
Okay. That's your take on it, but that's not reality.
Well, supposing you give us the benefit of your insight into the situation.
Sure. I think he had a bad night and he killed himself. All the pressure in here can get to you sometimes. You start thinking about things and suddenly you just snap. I've seen it happen a lot. I mean, some guys just can't do time.
This is Mrs. Martin's heart. It's studded with hemorrhages.
Which means what?
Mrs. Martin died of sudden cardiac death.
A heart attack.
No. Take a look. You'll see the difference under the microscope. A heart attack doesn't tear the muscle fibers like that. This was caused by intense psychological stress.
Man, I get that every day.
Exactly. But in this case, we're talking about a sudden increased level of hyperanxiety, which triggered an influx of calcium into the heart cell, which in turn caused the heart to contract so intensely that it never relaxed again. I believe she was scared to death.
That would make it a homicide.
It's a bit of a stretch.
Well, if you'll indulge me, I'd like you to take a look at some research that I'm doing.
I walked that scared to death shit upstairs to Da Vinci. My ass is gonna be right back on the street picking up bodies.
You got that right.
Marks was admitted to the remand center 2 nights ago. His lawyer, Sid Samuels, had a court date set for him yesterday afternoon.
Trying to get a retrial date set based on some new evidence.
Same evidence. Different lawyer.
There may be some similarities between the death of the prostitute that was disinterred and the body that we found in the dumpster. Same tool mark used on both bodies. That's new.
What's Da Vinci saying about Marks' death?
Leaning towards suicide.
We're tracking it. If it looked like it's going to change, we'll let you know.
All right. Leo? I know I gave you a hard time on that Charlie Josephs thing last year, so I appreciate you watching my back on this one.
Just trying to keep an eye on things.
Last time in custody, we ordered cameras and all the tiers. When I spoke to the corrections about it, you know what they told me? They told me since they're tearing down that wing anyway, why spend more money on it?
Boomerang strategy. We blame their procedure, they blame the budget. It ends right back in our lap. Listen, I'm going to need a copy of your last recommendation so I can make it available to the media.
Okay, Helen's got that.
Okay.
For sure. Helen, sorry. We need all the death and custody inquests.
Well, which ones did you want?
Remand center.
Fine. Sid Samuels is here.
Are we ready to talk to him?
No.
Well, he's here. Come on in, Sid. Hey, have a seat.
No thanks.
Look, I'm sorry about your client.
Save it for his mother.
Any idea how in the hell a man who spent the majority of his time in protective custody ended up in general population?
Because there was a mix-up in the paddy wagon and he got put in with everyone else.
You're writing this off as a clerical error.
That's the story so far.
Am I going to get a homicide ruling?
We're just waiting for pathology right now.
Homicide is investigating this.
Excuse me if that doesn't inspire confidence.
Our office is pursuing this as a death in custody, Sid.
This wasn't a suicide.
We don't know that.
There's a few things you don't know.
And that's what an inquest is for.
Now, when you hold this inquest, I want your guarantee there won't be a whitewash.
Are you thinking that race is a factor here?
Race is always a factor. Where do we stand on the evidence from the prostitute you disinterred?
The DNA was totally degraded. We got nothing. But we did find that she had been buried alongside her personal effects. We did manage to pull a set of prints off the purse, so you may get something there.
That would have brightened Vincent's day.
You should start your day with a bang. It's from pathology.
Thank you. What the hell is this?
I think it's a test. Let me know if you pass.
Hi.
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 It's a good read. And a compelling theory, but I don't think you have enough relevant data to support it.
Was that your final word?
I also noticed in your autopsy report you put it down as a homicide.
That's what I believe it is.
Well, unless the coroner's act has changed in the last 24 hours, you don't have the authority to make that call. Most you can call it is cardioarrhythmia due to fear.
Okay. What's your ruling gonna be?
Natural. Now, if you want to take it upstairs, that's your prerogative.
Thanks for the effort. Can I help you with anything?
No, thanks, Helen. That's okay.
Okay, I brought Sonny down here. She can run through the evidence for us, and we'll all get the information at the same time, okay?
Appreciate it.
Let me tell you what I saw externally. There are 2 ligature marks, the first one being less defined and lower on the neck. There's a corresponding point on the back of the neck above the 3rd vertebrae. Unfortunately, we don't have the noose in its intact form, but I'm going on the assumption it was a slip knot.
Well, don't, because Chick is working with the sheet, and he's going to get us a good idea exactly how the knot was used, what kind of knot, and all that. So come on, keep going.
The first ligature occluded the vasculature, but not the airway. This rendered him unconscious, but did not cause asphyxiation.
So the guy's still breathing. Killer's got to string him up again.
The airway doesn't need to be blocked, but in this case, the second attempt was made.
So he's fighting like a son of a bitch. Shoe ends up on the other side of the cell. Guy's got to string him up again.
Whatever. The first attempt didn't kill him. In the second attempt, however, both the blood vessels and the airway were compressed, and this caused death.
Was there hemorrhaging in the eyes?
Yes, but minor. Death was due to asphyxia following strangulation. I think he attempted to hang himself the first time. The knot didn't hold. He fell to the ground, bruised his tailbone.
That's speculation. That's not going in your report.
He then regained consciousness and was successful the second time. You can get another pathologist if you want another opinion.
Whoa. Okay, think about what we've got before you start talking about another pathologist here. Okay?
Am I missing something here?
Yeah. If you testified in Inquest that this is a suicide, the whole thing fades away. We got nothing. Our leverage is gone. We got nothing on Kowalski.
Better call it suicide. It works for us.
No, this was a lynching. That's what it was.
Your opinion, not supported by pathological evidence.
Supported by my gut and common sense.
Look, I'm not making any goddamn ruling here on pathology alone, okay? So can everybody just, settle down? What is your problem?
told me about your findings in the home invasion. I took the liberty of looking over the research you gave him and making myself familiar. I hope you don't mind.
Not at all. The numbers speak for themselves.
And what about this case in particular?
This is a healthy woman, no illness, living in a state of anxiety, as the locks and bars in her home indicate. Break and enter is demonstrably the inciting incident. My pathology on the case is about the best example of the phenomenon I've come across. This is as good a case for prosecution as I've seen.
But the coroner's office and homicide don't appear to share your feelings.
Well, you've worked homicide. You know what they're like. They're scared of going out on a limb.
So maybe I'll walk this over to the Crown prosecutor myself. Give him a chance to take a look at it before it's sandbagged.
Well, he'll probably tell you it's all theoretical until you have a suspect.
He's down in tank. We picked him up this morning with stolen property from a house in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, the remand log reflected that you visited Kowalski the day before Marks died.
This is going to Inquest.
When you develop the suspect and the Crown has laid a charge, I'll stop. But until that time, this is death in custody, and yeah, it's going to Inquest.
Then let me remind you, for the record, you came down here unofficially one day and put that bug up my ass that Kowalski was going to change his testimony. That's why I went to see him. You led me to it.
Oh, so you were discussing his testimony. You had doubts?
No. My reputation was at stake. I had to reassure myself that Kowalski's statement wasn't going to change.
You were reassured?
I was reassured.
What, that he was gonna stick to his story? He was telling the truth. Which?
Last I heard, they were the same thing.
If it turns out that Marks was innocent, what that means is someone fed information to Kowalski, information that was kept from everyone else except the investigating officer.
You know damn well that I was the investigating officer.
No, damn well. The spotlight's gonna hit any second.
Then let me remind you of the facts. Kowalski's statement has never been proven false. And unless you've ruled homicide, Marks' death is still in question. And this whole thing could play out that a guilty man killed himself and saved the taxpayer that cost him a new trial and 20 years room and board.
It could also play out that the investigating officer, who was sure that Marks was guilty as hell, sought to ensure his conviction. So what did he do? He cuts a deal with an informant to give false testimony, and that will come out, that information. So that investigating officer should step forward right now and just do the right thing.
And that would be?
We both know what I'm talking about.
Are you finished?
No. Thanks for your time.
My door's always open.
You're asking me to take direction from robbery. I'm homicide.
No, I'm asking you to pursue a homicide charge against a robbery suspect.
Well, last I heard, the coroner on this case ruled Mrs. Martin's death a natural.
Coroner's findings don't prevent me from proceeding with criminal charges.
Okay, suppose this suspect is the perpetrator we're looking for. The guy still wasn't even in the same room as the victim, and there's no evidence of assault.
The weapon was fear, the result was death. That's homicide.
You know, that sounds to me like the pathologist and the robbery sergeant leading us around by the nose.
Look, the public wants us to get tough on home invasion, and it's a priority of the AG. Now, Patricia Da Vinci has given us an opportunity.
Tricia's been busy.
Dee, your mother called.
Oh, crap. No, hang on a second. Could you call my mother for me and tell her I can't get her to see Dad today, and I'll call her back later? Thank you.
No, that's fine. Now, Patricia was in with Flynn yesterday. She's campaigning for a death by fear ruling.
Death by fear. She finally found a home for that one. That's taken a long time. Would you grab it and just make a copy dish? Pretty good work.
You wanted me to be a mole.
Sorry?
Mole's part of the rodent family, right?
Okay, we got the tuxedo jacket, the black wool socks, East Canadian manufacturer. The leather. Now, this came from the tier. All the bed linen has numbers stenciled on it, like this one, and assigned to a particular cell. So I'm going through it, and I find that the victim sheet has somehow ended up on Kowalski's bed. And Kowalski's sheet is on this other prisoner's bed, Billy Mitchell. And his sheet is the one that ends up around the victim's throat.
What? Musical sheets.
I asked one of the guards about it. He said that it could have been maybe a laundry mix-up. It's happened before.
You want to confuse the case, confuse the evidence. Kowalski scores a point.
I never take anything personal. Only what I need.
Oh, like what?
Well, you know. A VCR, toaster, radio, like that.
Yeah, well, you should recognize the neighborhood. You hit some homes around here.
I only did the one I told you about.
I work this house here.
No, I never saw this house.
Come on, the back door was kicked. Nothing personal was taken. That sounds like you. You just admitted you like this neighborhood.
A witness saw you walking up to the front of this house.
That's bullshit. You don't have a witness. I was never here.
All right, let's take a walk down memory lane. Over here. Now cast your mind back to the night in question. If you're following your usual pattern, you do what?
I wouldn't hit this house.
Let's say you did.
I'd come around the back door, force it open.
What if someone was inside?
I'd leave. But I didn't do this one.
All right, open the door there. Go ahead. That's where we found her. 65-year-old Georgina Martin, dead from a blow to the back of the head off that bureau there. Her nightgown was torn open.
I never touched nobody. Never been here.
Really? That's funny. Because I bet if we got a forensic team down here, we'd find your prints all over that doorknob. Right there.
It says here in this police report that this is your first arrest. What happened? You get in over your head?
Drug habit get out of hand? Too much dipping, not enough dealing?
What he's trying to say is that you don't look like the kind of guy to us who's going to strangle a man.
That's right. I'm not.
Well, then, could you explain how your sheet got wrapped around Vincent Marks' neck? Water's rising fast here. Look, if it isn't crystal clear, let me spell it out for you. Kowalski's playing you against both ends. First, he gets you to help him kill Marks, and then he sets you up for it.
You don't stand a chance going toe-to-toe with Kowalski. This is his cage. It's his game. You're gonna end up being his little sweetheart. If you're not already.
That's it. I'm not saying another word. And I can take care of myself in here.
Yeah, we could see that. Come in here down a remand on a chump charge and turn it into a lifetime bit. Not a lot of people could manage that.
Could be a first.
Could be.
I was reading about the history of the garrote, part of the long history of vendetta and stiletto societies in Italy and Spain.
Really? That's interesting.
No, please don't encourage him. What?
Well, they were brought over to this country by immigrants. Well, actually, there was this town in California called Garrote, but that's not the story.
Okay. We haven't got time for the history. Just give us the brief synopsis, okay?
All right. Now, you were saying how you couldn't see how someone could come up with enough force to strangle Marks. Let's see how this plays for you.
Where'd you get this?
Last cell on the tier. Belongs to that native prisoner, Davis. It was used to screw the bed into the cement floor. Came right out.
What about the garrote?
Oh, for a garrote-style execution, you need something like this for torque. Oh, I already got the prints off it.
You got prints?
Twist it like this, you increase your torque. Simple physics.
Shit. If you got Kowalski's prints on there, he goes down.
Sorry, boss. I know everybody likes Kowalski for this, but the only usable print I could get off of this belonged to the con on the tier named Billy Mitchell.
I was told by this guy that if I ever needed a friend in here, I should give you a call.
Who is this guy?
The guy you came to see in here a few days ago. Kowalski.
What did he say?
He said that if I ever needed help, that I shouldn't bother with the low-level players, and that you know how to take care of a guy if he had something to offer you. Kowalski's got me squeezed in something bad, pretty tight.
Tell me what happened. I'll see what I can do for you.
So this Kowalski guy, he's screaming at the guards that he's entitled to welfare tobacco.
Hey, you pricks! Where's my tobacco?
So I offer him a smoke just to calm him down, right? The next thing I know, we're best friends. I mean, it beats having this my enemy, right?
What did he say?
He sees the guy come in, and he gets all agitated. Says Marx is a rat, and that he doesn't deserve to breathe the same air as you. And then he's gonna straighten him out. And the next morning, he tells me to get something from Davis's cell. Now Davis is sleeping. So I do what he told me to.
What's going on now?
Then Kowalski goes to Marx's cell. I had no choice. And Kowalski says he wanted it to look like a suicide.
Marx is a pretty big guy. You helped string him up?
No, I have nothing to do with that.
You tell anybody else about this?
No.
Keep it that way. All right, what happened after he killed him?
We just went back to his cell and smoked some more. He called me a stand-up con.
I'd just stay in my room and get high all the time if I could.
Jeez, I hope you didn't call us in here just to discuss your career planning.
I did some other break-ins, I admit that. But I was nowhere near that dead woman.
You know, I'd really like to believe you. But I can't take that to my sergeant.
I can prove it. There's a house in the West End was robbed same night. About the same time as the one where the lady died.
What about it?
That was me. I did it with this other guy. He's holding the stuff.
Good. Give us this guy's name and where we can find him and this stuff.
Can we work this so my friend doesn't get stung on this?
Well, if you did it alone, and he isn't aware it's stolen property.
I did it alone. He wasn't aware.
This better play.
All right, I want you to make a list of all the homes that you broke into with every detail. You leave anything out and you're back talking to me about murder.
I want you to understand something about this. I never robbed that old lady. I don't do even numbers.
What?
Houses with even numbers. They're bad luck.
Yeah, they sure as hell are.
There you go. Forensic lab, footprints off the dysentery woman's purse, the name match, fingerprints lifted. See? Off that tarp, the plastic tarp that wrapped up the woman in the dumpster.
Interesting.
Interesting. This points directly to Marx's innocence.
Could point directly to Marx having a partner.
Jesus Christ, you're gonna deny this thing right down to the wire, aren't you? Sid Samuels. He wants to make a meal out of this. He wants accountability. You're top of that list, too.
Well, thanks for the news flash. Check.
Yeah.
When you gonna return my fishing rod?
Huh? Oh, yeah. I've been meaning to bring that in.
Yeah, well, I'd like it back.
Yeah, okay.
still denying everything.
Shit. You gave him an opportunity to do the right thing.
Suicide works for us, huh? Bullshit.
Yeah.
We should have played it straight right from the start and gone to internal.
What about if we take it to Inquest first and let the chips fall?
Can't do that. I put Kowalski on the stand at Inquest, and everything he says in the stand, you can't use it later in a murder trial.
We got nothing anyway to charge him with. We got zip. Everything points to Billy Mitchell for the hanging.
The thing is, a Regan fed testimony to Kowalski, okay? If you sit around and wait for that information to be released at an inquest, it's going to look like you've been covering up for Regan, so I don't know what you want to do. It's your call.
Whatever happened and nobody gets buried?
Jesus. Going to internal makes me want to puke. Puts the curse on both of us.
And we have to go sooner or later. Would have looked better sooner.
First of all, no one is responsible for my suicide. All of my personal effects are in my desk, in my office. There's a will that explains who to contact and what I want done with my remains. I did my job to the best of my abilities. I would never do anything to jeopardize the integrity of my position.
Hey, careful with that.
I believe now, as I've always believed, that Vincent Marks is guilty. I've always tried to do the right thing, and I always did what was required. And anybody who doesn't believe me can kiss my ass.
He didn't admit to giving Kowalski information.
He didn't deny it either.
Silence speaks louder than words. His involvement in my client's wrongful conviction is still going to come out. I'm suing on behalf of Marx's mother.
That's where we're headed.
Have a copy of that sent to my office. I'll be in touch.
Boy, Regan ended up in no man's land, hanging on a wire. As long as the right guy's in jail, these people just don't care what the cops had to put them there, as long as they're locked away, thank God. But the moment they got the wrong guy in jail, sane people get righteous and hang you out in the wire.
That's the way it is.
I want you all to know that I am sympathetic to your feelings and to the tragedy that's occurred. Now, as you probably know, I'll be taking over as acting sergeant, and I'm told that this position is just temporary. But I'm hoping that I can have your complete cooperation and your confidence. Now, I'll be talking to each one of you individually just to get up to speed on your cases, but until then, my door's open. Hey, Sergeant. Do you have a minute? Sure. Great. He's got the dead lady's grandson in interview. He was picked up this morning using her ATM card.
Gave me her bank card. can hold it. Get her groceries and things.
Let me look at that. Huh, looks like your grandmother had a big appetite.
She gave me the card.
When?
Before she left to visit her sisters.
That's the last time you saw her?
Yeah.
She left you to look after the house. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Wrong. She was in the house when you kicked down the back door.
What do you mean?
Well, we found her hiding behind her bedroom door. Dead.
She can't be dead. She told me she was going to visit her sisters. Did you check with them?
Didn't have to. We have her body lying in the morgue. Besides, she probably told you she was leaving town because she was tired of having you talk her out of money. To feed your habit.
She told me that she was going to visit her sisters.
I think we've got a homicide charge. This death by fear thing just might work.
And forget about this, it won't fly. Let you wrap it up. Look, we've got 28 missing prostitutes in this city, and I think it's about time we started addressing those as homicides.